Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the TS-5. It's a Tier 8 American premium tank destroyer. It's located on the westbourne of Paris, and it's under the command of the BassmanFromHell. And this is the first of 3 replays featuring the TS-5. Well, it's a 120mm gun, capable of 400 alpha, and it's got a fairly quick reload. If I remember correctly, it's round about the 10-second mark, which is, well, it's comparable to the 122mm guns you'll actually find on the Soviet heavy tanks. But this is a fixed casement with very few weak spots. They're between the tracks. You can see the lower plates, and that cupola, that's a definite weak spot. But other than that, the shells tend to bounce off this thing because it's so well angled. Now, they did build a model of the prototype. They didn't actually go ahead and build the real thing though, because the project was cancelled. But you can see that the gunner was sighted by the a little hole in the mantelet, and well, he was trying for a shot on the STG there, didn't get it in time, but he's going to give it another go, and he might be able to get a shot in there. Yeah, we can just see the top of the turret, but we haven't got a clear... Oh, now we have. And it looks like he's trying to poke round the corner and shoot at our guys, and he gets a shot in which tracks him, but it doesn't do any damage. Now he's going to move a bit closer. I rather like this tank destroyer actually, because it's an assault tank destroyer. It's designed to go in there and destroy the bunkers, but it also has a phenomenal capability of taking huge amounts of shots at it without getting damaged. Yeah, that STG is just around the corner, and being around the corner obviously makes him vulnerable to a lot of shots. But if you look at the minimap, you can see there's a T-77 just on the corner here, and the enemy heavy tanks have actually gone around the corner, so he's going to deal with this Progetto first on the first shot. Our Pantera's just been tracked. Oh dear, bad news for the Pantera. Can he get a shot to that one? Yes, he does, right through the turret, and the Pantera goes down. And it's going to tempt the T-77 to come around the corner. Hopefully the STG will try, and when he fails with his first shot, just keep an eye on the minimap, just in case the T-77 decides to come around the corner. We'll suddenly see him come into view, and he'll pop up on the minimap, and then we know we need to change target. But you can see there's a T-54 first prototype and a Hawk 30 engaging our tanks in the field. Okay, well the STG was the one that popped up, not the T-77, but now he's popped up again. Now this is taking a risk because the STG is close, and if he turns to engage the T-77, he might have been in danger from that STG, but he's not anymore. But there is a Borsig somewhere around the corner, and the T-77, well, he's come around the corner to engage, but it's too late because he can't reload in time, and he's out the game. Now, where is that Borsig? He should have tried to put a round into Bassman, but failed. And there you see he's just failed to get a 128mm round into Bassman's TS-5. So now Bassman's going to turn around and drive away, but his rear is vulnerable while he's turned around, because of course he can only fire in one direction. But I think the further he goes away, the more likely the Borsig is going to engage the Fox rather than Bassman. Well, he's got a number of tanks to engage here, including an Object 705, an IS-22 and a T-10. But he's got his gun down now, and first shot goes in, kills the 705. You can see how this thing's so aggressive, so good at engaging the enemy. The only problem here is if he tries to go around that corner, if they manage to track him, they can keep him tracked. So ideally he wants to get round whilst they fired. Oh, he's not looking! He's not looking, so he takes a round straight away, and Bassman's going to put a round right up his rear. Oh, he was more concerned about what was coming in from above. And, well, the AMX 5100 squashed the T-10 to death. And I'm afraid the T10 also died in the accident, but he is out the game. We've now got a T95, just got the shoulder of him. That one will track him. Went through the second set of tracks. Yeah, that will just track him every time. It's just going to hold him in place. Oh, he's fixed his tracks. Now making him vulnerable. Oh! Now that shouldn't have happened, but he did actually hit the T95. He almost took out his teammate there. And that possibly would have denied Bassman a high caliber. We just have to hope that it didn't actually count. Whenever you get a teammate who actually goes around the corner and blocks a shot that you meant for the enemy, and you then lose a high caliber, that can be so infuriating. It costs you a medal because of the stupidity of your teammate. I'm afraid there's far too many teammates who do that sort of thing. They just drive around the corner willy-nilly, not realizing that it's going to cost their own teammate, their better player, a shell, just because they were eager to try and get between you and the enemy. Well, Bassman's backing up because the standard B he thought was actually around the corner, but he's actually around this corner at the moment. He's coming round, here he comes, and he's unfortunately being blocked. Now, he definitely hit his teammate there, so he won't get the high caliber for certain. Unfortunately, the Fox died, so he's going to have to chase the standard B down. He's definitely lost his high caliber, but I'm not sure he would have got the high caliber anyway. Oh, he fired just as he went up over the barrier, and his round went straight up in the air instead of into the enemy. But he gets one into the standard B, which makes him a one shot with only 15 hit points left. There's still 4 on their team, left to 2 on the enemy, 4 on their team. It looks like they've got this. So he's just going to deal with the T95 now, and hopefully the T95 is just around that corner. Where is he? He's gone. Well, he's not where he was supposed to be, which means that he's probably gone between or round the corner and between the buildings, so he's probably hiding. The strip's going around there. Oh, now we just lost the batch out 25 ton TAP to the T95. There he is. I don't think he can see us, and we just lost the strip as well. When he managed to get a blind hit on the enemy, or rather use the bush mechanic to get a shot on him. The problem now is that having lost 2 tanks, it's 2 versus 2. He's trying a better angle to approach the T95. The problem is the standard B is more likely going to come at Bassman from a different angle, which will make it difficult for him to engage 2 tanks at the same time, because of course he can only point in one direction, which means whoever's facing his rear is going to get free shots, and he doesn't want that to be the T95, although the standard B has got that auto reloader and a 105mm gun. So if he engages the T95 to avoid getting hit by that 155mm shell, and he's got him by the side, takes him out with one shot. And now it's just the standard B he needs to kill. It's only him left. The GW got killed, which means that the standard B was most likely out in the field area. No, he's actually gone back to the cap. So he's decided to cap. But of course he knows that Bassman's going to come back and reset the cap. He has to. So he's going to be ready and waiting, probably hiding in the bushes, but remember he's going to be facing the front of a TS-5, which is very difficult to pen. Now the moment that Bassman got close to going there, he stopped capping. Now I'm wondering if he thinks that Bassman's now going to go into the cap, and then he is going to come and try and reset the Bassman and get a defender medal. That's very possible. That could be what he's up to. Got 5 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock, and I suspect that the standard B thinks that all he needs to do is put one quick shot into the TS-5 whilst he's capping. And of course, the thing is, Bassman again has to face one direction. He can't face both directions. So if this guy comes in from the field, he's going to get the rear of Bassman's tank. But he's doing the best to put himself in a position where he's nicely hidden. He could knock that tree down and give him a much more concealment from the standard B. He's got the vehicle to one side. I'll just cut around. There you go. You've got the Batchat 25 TAP on one side, and he's got these bushes the other side. Now, I think it's more likely that the enemy will come from that direction, from the north, and he'll cut across the field, or he'll come from that direction. If he comes from this direction, he has to poke out round the building, and if he does that, well, Bassman's going to be able to turn to face him. He has to get a reset, so he has to use either HE or AP. Well, he could use the heat rounds, but the thing is, if he does, he has to fully reload 3 shells to do that. 27, 26, 25. Yep, the standard B could appear at any moment. He is there, and he suddenly appeared from the wrong side, and Bassman saw him. He should have gone to the field and come in from the other direction. He would have been sure to see Bassman unless he was hiding the other side of the Batchat, which of course would be a very strange thing to do because this side gives him protection. And that's it. Yep, the standard B made a huge error, attacked him from the wrong direction, and that's a victory. So there's the first game down. Let's have a look at the second game. The second game is on Ensk, and it's Ensk Encounter as well to make it even more difficult for Bassman. Okay, off he goes. Still got the 120mm gun, 400 alpha, firing standard AP and premium heat. Now the AP rounds will go through 248mm of armour, and the heat rounds go through 300mm, so they've got a lot more pen. And this thing can take a lot of punishment from the enemy. A lot of rounds will just bounce straight off the armour. Now instead of going through the railway track side, he's decided to go through the factory yard. Very open, could be shot from the sides if there was a light tank to the left, but he's decided to bully the enemy and engage him head on. There's his first target, it's a heavy tank number 6, who bounces around off his front, and with his 10-second reload he's going to get another shot in and puts it into the heavy tank. 406. The thing is, now he has to punish these guys from the front, puts a round into the Black Prince, blocks the shot, comes back. The Leo doesn't really want to engage him, and although there's an enemy tank to the other side, the KV2, he's not really engaging Bassman at the moment, and that shot went into the tracks. Okay, Bassman's going to change direction. There's a Leo out in the field. This time round he's going to engage the KV2. He got hit by a huge derp gun from the 152mm howitzer, and the KV2 takes a hit for 383. The Black Prince has made a big error here. He's trying to engage Bassman face to face. All that's going to happen is he's going to die by doing that. And he pulls back, gets ready, and there goes the Black Prince. Yeah, I did tell him, bad mistake. He just took another round from the KV2, but it didn't do much in the way of damage. He did take a big round from the Pershing for 262 rather, and the KV2's getting ready to shoot him and derp him. And yeah, he fires one into the KV2, and all the KV2 manages to do is hit the tracks. That Pershing, if he pokes out again, is going to take damage and possibly... No, he's not going to pull out. He doesn't want to pull out. So what are we going to do about this KV2? Well, you can see our teammate there is actually engaging the Leo. And here's the Pershing. Can't shoot at that angle. It would just bounce off the side. It'd be a wasted shot. Better to hold on. All the Pershing could do was hit the tracks. No need to engage at the moment on that one. Wait for the Leo to make a mistake. Try and pull back. He's protecting himself from the Pershing with that movement behind the Black Prince. He can't shoot his 90mm, but here comes the ISU 122S, which has got a 122mm gun, and well, we got the side of him there, but he actually tracked us, so he's burned the repair kit, and the ISU 122S goes down to a teammate in the T20. He did take a round in the tracks from the Leo, but couldn't pen him, so he's now going to go ahead and face the Pershing again. That 122 could have done a lot of damage if he tried to grapple with Bassman face to face and shoot at his cupola. But he's going around the other side of the buildings here, which now means the Leo has to engage him face to face, and he takes a round for 437, a high roll. We've got a T20 off in the field, but he's going to ignore that for the moment. Don't want to turn sideways to go round after this Leo though, because otherwise the T20 gets a free shot in his rear. He's just going to shoot through the building. The T20 will have to keep moving, because each time he sits behind a building, that building's going to get destroyed, and sooner or later he's going to have a clean shot at the T20. The Renegade trying to come around the corner, takes a round, 359, low roll, and he's trying to get, no, just can't pen him, and armor's too much, and the SU-100 dies to our VK3601H. So the Bassman's got these guys covered. He's carefully not engaging people where it might actually force him to throw his flank against the enemy. You can see that T20 is still trying to puncture him, but failing. Aims in the general direction, knocks another building down. And the T20's out the game. The Black Prince on our team got him, which now means he can push on and start going after that ISU 152. And that guy's now facing more than one opposition, so he's not going to be engaged with Bassman. And Bassman's got his rat arse. Yeah, there goes. But he doesn't get the kill. Gets some nice damage off him though. 361. There goes the Pershing. And that is the end of the game. So a very effective game there for Bassman. And another victory. So let's have a look at the third battle, and then we'll cover the results. And in the third battle, BassmanFromHell is on Sand River. Game started. Now, mostly because this TS-5 is so slow, and it's not a very fast tank destroyer, about 20 kilometers an hour forwards, 10 backwards if I remember correctly. It is very slow. It's about the same speed really as the T-28. And so you wouldn't expect to take it down out into the dunes on either side. Up to the north it would be very, very slow to get there. The best way to handle this tank destroyer is either to go down the river valley itself, or the river bed, or to do what Bassman's doing, which is what I would do, which is head towards the mosque, and then you can engage the enemy tanks directly. First shot, he gets it into the IS-2 and gets a decent hit, but it's a low roll for 376. Just saw a repeater come into view. Again, gun depression's a bit of a problem. Fires that round in, gets a hit in the tracks. Didn't get anything more. But he's moving up on these vehicles. Nice shot! High roll into the IS-2 again. Or not in, but he got another hit on him again. It's not that he's had a high roll again. Going to go for the defender this time. Yes! Punches his way through. 402. High roll again. Okay, just got the corner of that IS-2. I doubt if he get that shot in. Probably not worth wasting it. If he goes to the right of this rock, he is opening himself up to fire from the heavies, so he can wait here for a second. Unfortunately, we just lost our Oni to their UDIS 03. There's the IS-2, and that's a kill shot. You see, that Oni made a big mistake going to the right. Normally, I would actually go back behind some cover. You know, he is exposing his side, and the reason for that is that 45 TP down to the south, who could potentially shoot into Bassman's rear by coming over the dune line. Now these heavies being held in place. Oh, that was a beautiful shot on the defender, and he got some damage assist off that because he tracked the guy, held him in place whilst his teammates got to work on him. And in fact, there's more than enough tanks there to hold the enemy, so he can move up on the mosque, and he needs to get to the right of the buildings, not to the left, because otherwise he will find himself open to fire But he's going low. He's going low. He's going to go in directly and engage the defender. Lower plates. He's out the game. Okay, he's backing up so he can gain a shot on the T29. Go through the upper plates. Yeah, no problem at all. 464. It's a very powerful 120mm gun. Trying to get the mantlet there toward the other side of the mantlet. The shoulders of the tank. Yeah, unfortunately all he could do was damage our tracks, and that one hit the mantlet, which isn't going to work. If he goes down too far into the riverbed, he won't be able to shoot up at the T29 because he hasn't got the elevation, but he can punch his way through the upper plates of the T29 with a heat round, and he did do that. Now he's just trying to get the right position. Oh, the T29 got around into him, and this time round he got the guy because he'd lost too much hit points or too many hit points to other people. So he's now squeezed himself between the buildings to give him a bit more cover. Fires one back at the Alpine Tiger, but he didn't get the right angle. Can wait for him to poke his way out. That's good. Go for the shoulders. Nice! 416, high roll again. Easy pen that on that guy. Yeah, if he angles like that coming out, he's actually just going to make it more easy to kill him. He should have really thought about making the angle much more oblique, because if you show those flat plates to a target that's sitting directly ahead of you, and by angling those tanks, that's what you normally do, you just make it easier to pen. That's it, he's just finding the shoulder, gets it in. 433, gets another one. He's using that rock as protection. That's what I like about this little corner here. If you're shooting to the east, that little rock next to the mosque is, well, it's an ideal firing position. That Alpine Tiger at the moment is pretty much trapped. There's not much he can do. There's a Tiger 1 there. He might be able to get a shot to that guy. Just drive up over this rock if you need to get elevation. There's the Tiger 1 in front of him. Didn't get that one in. I think it went right over the top of him and exploded behind. You can see the shell crater where it landed. Now going the other side of the mosque might be dangerous, so he's actually backed up to try and deal with the Tiger 1. The Alpine Tiger is already dead. That means the enemy now is in trouble because we've got one tank holding up the guys in the north, and they've got 4 tanks up there being held back by just one guy, whilst the majority of our force, including heavy tanks, are making their way straight to the enemy cap. Okay, he's firing an AP round at the UDES. That's the same UDES that took out the Oni. Now he needs to keep his gun pointed towards that target. The 45 TP that we saw earlier in the game, he's out the game. He was taken out by our teammates. Now he's trying to get himself into the dunes so he can deal with the UDES face to face. And he's also got some gun depression, so he might be able to poke over the edge, and the UDES is there. Now, is he looking our way? No, he's not. Big mistake, the UDES. Took around in the tracks there, but he's trying to escape. Or is he going to try and engage us now? I think he's probably going to go to siege mode and try and engage us. But I think that might be a mistake. Again, I think he ought to try and run. If he tries to stay where he is, I'm afraid the TS-5 is just going to run him down, and that's going to be the end of him. If he tries to run, he might be able to escape by going amongst the dips and the valleys, just slightly, those dips just to the north of us here. And I think that's what he's done. Yeah, he's definitely trying to escape, trying to get away. But Bassman's going to have to check in this cavity, this river run here, just to make sure he hasn't sort of like decided to go in there. No, he hasn't. So he definitely went to the around the corner, and I think he's to the left. I doubt if he would go up to defend his cap again. He hasn't appeared on the ridgeline. That's where you expect him to be. Our team are ignoring the cap, which kind of makes me think that, yeah, the UDES has escaped round this corner through this little dip area here, and he's now made it back, and he's probably going up the riverbed towards our cap. Managed to sneak his way around. I'd be very surprised if he stayed behind at our cap to try and, or this cap, to try and defend it. I'd be very surprised. Yeah, I think he dipsy-doodled. He tried to throw us a wobbly. We thought he was going to defend that corner, but he didn't. He managed to escape. And now the baseman has decided he's going to sit and try and attack that Tiger P, or is he going into the cap? He's decided to cap, yep. Now I do wonder, has he gone directly to the north and into the riverbed itself? I think baseman's decided to look in this direction. We can see the CS-53 is engaging our Stura Mill to the north, and I think baseman's decided, after we've lost so many heavy tanks trying to go after the remaining enemy, that the safest thing for him to do right now is cap, whilst there's still 4 on his team alive. And let's hope that the T-20 on his team decides to come and join him. I have the feeling he's holding back because he's still worried about where the UDAs might be. I don't think the UDAs... I think he went up the riverbed there. He shot up there. Baseman's working on the basis that he's actually gone north, gone into the dip, the riverbed there, and he's going to come back and defend the cap. The CS has the CS-53 rather has been killed, so it's now just the UDAs, and there's enough cap points now for him to get a defender medal if he can turn up at the cap. T-20's decided to come into the cap, and that's it. The UDAs didn't come back, and it's a win for the baseman. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats for the first battle, and that's the one on Paris. Well, on the Paris game, he got a second class tamper, a Reaper badge for getting consecutive kills with consecutive shots, a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 4, a shell proof, a 5 for effects, and because he capped out to win, he got an invader medal, and his win rate was 2089. Look at the damage, we can see that he didn't do the highest damage in the game. He got 1922. The high scorer was the Striv S1. He got a tank sniper with 3308 on his team, but the high scorer overall was the Standard B, who failed to come back in the right spot and get the reset. He got 3314 but didn't pick up a high caliber because either he didn't damage one of his teammates, or more likely he didn't score 20% of the enemy hit pool and therefore he didn't qualify. If we look at kills, we can see that it was Spaceman again, but he shared it with the Standard B. Both had 4 kills each, and when it came to base XP, it's Spaceman with 1125 base, the only one over 1000. You can see he fired 17 rounds, got 13 direct hits this time, 7 penetrations and damage of 1922 hit points, all of it at close range. He earned 109,358 credits from that game, and he also took away 3,544 XP. So a pretty good game from the Paris game, and of course the best thing about that was that he was covered either way, but the Standard B just made the huge mistake of attacking from the wrong direction. He would have been far safer attacking from the field than he was from poking his head round the corner from the building side, from the city side. Okay, if we look at the second battle, and that's the Ensk battle, and oh my god, look at this. Second class tanker, shell proof, 5 for effects, and then out of the other medals, he managed to get a cool headed for surviving 10 or more ricochets and non-penetrations, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, a steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, and a confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, at least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates, and he only got 1 kill in the entire game. His win rate was 4,805, considerably higher in this one, Super Unicum standard. Look at team score, we can see that yes, he definitely got the highest damage in the game, 4,226. The next highest scorer being the Tiger 2, who managed to get 3,309. And when it came to kills, he wasn't the top on that one. The large number of his teammates, 5 of them, managed to get 2 kills each. Baseman only got the 1, as I mentioned. But when it came to base XP, he was the highest with 1,163. And he was the only player over 1,000 base experience points. He fired 14 rounds this time, 12 direct hits, 11 penetrations. It's a great 120mm gun. It does penetrate well, although it doesn't shoot well at long range. It's much better at close range. 4,226 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range. Received 19 hits from the enemy, only one of which actually penetrated, and that was the Pershing. Managed to get one in. 17 non-penetrations, and one hit by where Splash was the KV2, who did do a lot of damage when he hit him. He blocked damage of 2,690 hit points, easily qualified for that steel wall. He earned 98,990 credits on this game, and 1,919 XP. So a very good game, bullying them in TS-5, exactly what it's designed to do. It just go in there and hit them face to face. But of course he was very clever not to overextend himself, not to turn his side or his flank, his weak side to the enemy. He made sure that he always had the tough end, the front end of this vehicle, and they couldn't get around to attack him from the rear. If we look at the third game, the last game, the Sand River one, he managed to get a first class tanker in this one. He also got a shell proof and fire effect as he did in the previous ones, but this time round he got the high caliber only. But his win rate was again even higher, 7,419. If you remember, the previous one was 4,805, so he's gradually getting better and better as time goes on, and this was filmed in sequence. You can see that this time round he got 3 kills in this game, and the highest damage. He said heavies, they had heavies where? Yeah, well, he was just decimating them, he was damaging them, and then his teammates all together were just grouping round and taking what was left and finishing them off. You can see he definitely got the highest damage, 4,140 hit points, 2,982 went to the IS-22 on his team, and well, that Udes was a very good sniper. He got 3,457, but he didn't come back to get the reset, and that was a big mistake. He could easily have picked up a defender medal if he just managed to poke up on a ridge line, fire one round in and get a reset, but he didn't. So bad news for the Udes. Clever that he did escape, but bad news to not get the reset. He should have done that. Big mistake. When it came to kills, it was the IS-22, managed to get 5 kills, 3 kills for Bassman, and also for the Udes 03 and the Chiri on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, it was the Bassman, 1,345, the IS-22 managed to get 1,098, and these were the only 2 guys who managed to get over 1,000. Bassman fired 16 shots on this one, got 15 direct hits, 11 penetrations, damage of 4,140 hit points, again, all at most of it at close range, 3,176 of which was done at long range. I think those were the first shots in the game where he hit the IS-22 at long range, but the rest of the shots were at short range. 8 hits received from the enemy, none of them penetrated actually, they just hit the tracks or damaged the tracks. Even the T-29 didn't manage to get a shot into him. Block damage of 1,740 hit points in total. On this occasion, he earned a profit of 189,863 credits. He got a mission completion for 40,000 and he personal reserves as well. So you can see that this tank destroyer is a very big earner of credits. If you need a tank destroyer to earn credits, this is the one to go for, because you will just keep earning game after the game, where if you play it cleverly like Bassman did, you can actually just generate credits like they're coming out of your ears. 25 bonds from that game for getting an achievement on mission, and 2,219 XP. So yes, the TS-5, it's a fun tank destroyer. It's basically in your face assault tank which just takes the enemy apart bit by bit. And of course the only thing you need to watch out for are the weak points between the tracks and of course the cupola. Those are the only spots you need to cover. So if you can, if you're going around a corner, try and only expose the side that doesn't have the cupola. Don't try and expose the other one, because of course if the other player has a TS-5, they know exactly where to place the shell. And most people do have TS-5s because of course they took part in the mini marathon where you could get one for free. So people did pick them up, but if they're a new player, they probably don't have a TS-5, but they should get one if they don't have it. I hope you enjoyed those 3 replays. They certainly were fun to watch. If you did, please give the videos a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below, and thanks for watching.